So today I'm going to walk you through my meal plan and basically what I eat in a day, my macros, my proteins and things like this. Because you might be asking yourself, well, what does this guy eat, for his fitness and stuff like this? Because I think, my nutrition is very important to me, especially because I am very much into fitness, and I think nutrition and a meal plan is like 70% of your whole fitness journey. So therefore, I have a specific meal plan which I stick to. I don't eat the same thing every day. No, I have certain variations I actually can make, and I will walk you through this. I will show you my meal plan in this video, and you might be able to get some advice out of that. You might be able to use, and you can even use my meal plan if you want. I will link it in the description. Okay. So at the moment I'm eating 3,800 calories, and I'm on a huge bulk right now, and basically before the summer, like a summer bulk. It might not have been the smartest choice, but I was on a huge cut before this, and I didn't want to keep on the cut until the summer, So I've been on this bulk like for 1.5 months right now, because if you keep cutting all the time, you will lose a lot of muscle. So I didn't want to lose a lot of muscle, and I thought, I'll be going on a bulk for a while, just for 2 months, and by the beginning of June, I'll be going on a cut. I might be going with a bit more fat through the summer, but who gives a fuck, right? Maybe the girls. Okay, so today I am basically on 3,800 calories. That's a lot. So I'm currently weighing 86.5 kilos, and I went from 78 kilos, on my cut. So I've already gained like 8 kilos, and I think I will go through 89 kilos, and then I will just cut. So my macros are basically like 440 grams of carbs, 100 grams of fats, and don't be scared, 240 grams of protein. And that's a lot of protein, right? That's more like that's more protein than the people suggest you should take. So people, when you go online, like how much protein, and when you go online and type, okay, how much protein do I need? Most of the guys will just give you a standard answer. Yeah, you should take 2 grams of protein per pound body weight. Say like 2 grams protein per pound body weight, they would suggest to you. But this is just so average. This is not so a fat person should take the same amount of calories as a lean person with a lot of muscles. That doesn't make any sense. So the reason I take 240 grams of protein is basically because I am still pretty lean, and a fat person doesn't have so because I'm lean, I should take more protein. A fat person has a lot of reserve fats basically, and the chances of him actually losing muscle are very slim, because he can just use that fat. So therefore my chances, because I'm leaner, of losing muscle are higher. Therefore I eat more protein. Another thing is, you can never eat too much protein, because there was a study, like there are no negative side effects on eating too much protein, unless you're eating 80% of your total calorie intake is basically protein. Then you're eating too much protein. But there is no such thing as too much, because if you eat, but there is a thing as eating too less, not enough protein. Because if, let's say, your perfect amount of protein you should eat is 250 grams. If you eat 250 grams of protein, then your body will make the maximum amount of muscle. And let's say you're eating 150 grams. That means you're leaving potential gains, So why take the chance of leaving potential gains when there is no negative side effects of eating a bit more than necessary? So yeah, that's why I eat more protein. So I actually calculated it with I actually calculated the amount of protein I should eat. So that's 240 grams of protein. And you might think, well, I don't really care about the proteins and carbs and things like this. I just want to know how much you're eating. So let's go to that then. So my first meal of the day is my favorite meal, and I will show you a picture here. It looks like crap, right? But it's actually really nice, and it tastes much better when you're on a cut. Actually, all the food tastes much better when you're on a cut, because I'm currently bulking, and I'm actually like sometimes force feeding myself to just eat more and more and more. I actually don't want to go anymore. I just don't want to bulk anymore, but I have to because my bulk is not over yet. But when you are like cutting, all the food will taste like really nice, and I found myself like way too much focused on food when I was cutting. That's basically one of the negative side effects of like being really lean, because I think I was like maybe 7-8% of body fat at the time. Now I'm more like 15. But so my first meal of the day is my favorite meal of the day, so I will walk you through it now. So I'll basically eat 120 grams of oatmeal, 30 grams of whey protein, 75 grams of fruit. I think it's important to have a few sources of fruit in a day, especially at least 2 pieces of fruit each day. So 70 grams of, I mostly take apple, or you can take something like mango or strawberries. And I take 20 grams of raisins, then 30 grams of peanut butter for fat and protein. And then, I take 1 egg, bake it, and I take omega-3. This is basically fish oils. It's very important for you. So, or you can eat omega-3, or you should eat at least a few sources of fish. I do both. So yeah, and that meal is like basically 900 calories. So it's a big meal. It's basically my biggest meal of the day, because just before that I have slept for 9-10 hours, and my body needs a lot of calories just to start the day. Don't let anybody tell you, yeah, you should just skip breakfast. Don't skip breakfast, especially if you're into fitness and things like this. You should never skip breakfast. And also one thing, intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is good when you are not doing anything with fitness. But if you're actually doing something with fitness, actually want to have the max amount of gains, you shouldn't do intermittent fasting. Maybe if you are on a cut. But I tried intermittent fasting, to be honest, and I was on a bulk. So the thing that happened is that I didn't eat until 12, and then I would have to eat 3,800 calories from 12 to 8 in the evening. Like, holy fuck. So that was just too much. My stomach couldn't handle it because it was too much food. And to be honest, I only eat clean food. That's why 3,800 calories of clean, nutritious, healthy food is a lot of food. 3,800 calories on crap processed food is basically just like 1 bag of M&Ms. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go on. So yeah, 900 calories, my first meal of the day. And one thing you should know is it's important to divide your protein intake evenly. So for example, I eat 240 grams of protein. It's important for me to divide it evenly. So I shouldn't be eating 240 grams just in one meal. No, because there is a max amount of protein your body can actually handle in one meal. And that's, I don't know the specific number, but it is around 50 grams. So if you eat more than 50 grams of protein in one meal, your body won't be able to use it properly, and will just basically not use it, store it, or shit it out, things like this. So you should divide your protein intake throughout the day. Make sure it is even. So for example, I eat 240 grams of protein. I make sure I eat around 50 grams of protein each meal. I have 5 meals, by the way. Let's go on to the second meal. I will take my laptop because this is my meal plan is basically online. It's basically I will show you. It's basically here. I can just take my meal plan on my phone as well. So my second meal of the day is basically some source of carb. I will show it to you right here. Some sort of like sweet potato, rice, or couscous. I can just make the choice. So if I choose rice, I can take 100 grams. If I choose sweet potato, I can take 400 grams. And so yeah, carb source, then a source of meat. So this might be chicken, codfish, or prawn, and dependent on the source of meat, is how much grams I can take. So for example, I can take 100 grams of chicken, but I can take 130 grams of codfish. That basically compounds to the same amount of calories. Therefore, I do this. And then I will I will also eat a baked egg because of the protein. And then I will choose some sort of vegetable. So I've basically got a list of all the vegetables I can find in the supermarket, and I would just choose one, just like a random one, and like 200 grams of vegetables. So with these things, with these options, I can make like multiple combinations, and I will basically never run out of options. Always have something else to eat. And you will see sauce standing here, but I don't need any sauce. Like sauce is a psyop. I'm joking, but yeah, sauce is a bit of a scam. You don't need sauce, especially when you are used to eating healthy food. Just the first time might not be the best, but after a while you get used to it, right? So I see a lot of people just want to eat sauce and sauce and sauce. The reason I don't eat sauce is because there's a lot of chemicals in them, like a lot of crazy chemicals you don't want in your body. If you really want sauce, make something yourself, like with a lot of spices and stuff like this, So let's go on to the third meal of the day. So this is basically I will eat like 100 grams of beans or chickpeas. And it's important that you eat the right ones. Don't eat the ones who are in the cans. Because if you eat that shit, if you eat like beans or chickpeas from a can, it's basically, there's a lot of added stuff in them. Added sugar, added sweetness, all these things. And you basically don't want that. I go to a specific store. It's basically a Turkish store. There they have like, they have really cheap meat, but they also have like all these beans, chickpeas, all kinds of beans, like an aisle of them, like dried. That's one thing you should consider, like dried stuff. And actually, like you have to put it in water, and after water for 8 hours, and then cook it. Then it's like ready to eat, and it tastes much better than that stuff in a can, basically. So beans or chickpeas, and then I will eat like 100 grams of those, basically. Then I will eat 200 grams of potato, 100 grams of carrots, 100 grams of onions, and 30 grams of chicken fillet. And that whole meal will have 36 grams of protein in it. So to be honest, before this, I had another meal, but I don't really like this meal. It's kind of dry, but I eat it anyway because it's cheap. Before this, I had some kind of a wrap with hummus and tomato, cucumber, and salad, and chicken fillet, and that was godly. It was so good. So if you wanna have a better meal, choose a wrap with some vegetables, hummus, and chicken fillet, because wow, it's good. That was basically one of my favorite meals of the day, but I chose to change it because it was a bit expensive. This one is much cheaper, actually. Potato is cheap as fuck. I'm a bit of a cheapskate because I'm still not earning enough money. So my fourth meal of the day is basically my pre-workout meal. So this meal is like, let's go. Basically 100 grams of some sort of spaghetti or macaroni, all these things are the same. Spaghetti, macaroni, fusilli, basically the same, but just different shapes. Choose something. Or couscous, 100 grams of couscous. I always eat 100 grams of corn, then I will choose one sort of vegetable. So, or leek or haricot verts, that's like basically beans, some kind of beans. Just search it online. Or pumpkin, 150 grams. And then I will choose some sort of meat. So, or chicken thigh, those are good, my brother. Mackerel, or salmon. So the thing I see, like most people are not eating enough fish. Some people don't even eat fish. You should eat fish twice a week, actually. So especially mackerel is like fatty fish, and it might not taste like good. The first time you try it, it might be shit, But I actually like it. It's good, but it's very salty. So yeah, depending on the meat source, I will eat different grams because, yeah. and I will eat 1 kiwi. Because this is basically my pre-workout meal, and it's important to include a source of fruit before you eat your pre-workout meal. And you should leave at least, I think with this meal, you should leave at least 1 hour between the meal and the workout, or 1.5 hours, not longer, not any shorter. If you are like basically 30 minutes before going into a workout, you should not eat a meal like this. You should eat a small meal, like a protein shake with some banana or something like this, you know? So yeah, it's important. A pre-workout meal is basically the most important meal of the day, because before you go into a workout, you need the right food. Because if you don't have the right food, or if you don't eat before a workout, you won't have the energy to go into a workout. Try this. Try one time. Just try. Don't eat anything before going into a workout, and you won't be able to lift the same weights. Basically, it's very, very important. And you don't want to be inside of your workout with a full stomach, you know. You don't want to be the reason why I say you leave 1 hour, just leave 1 hour between your meal and your workout, is because your body, basically your stomach and stuff like this, your stomach needs to process that food, needs to process it. And if you are basically in the gym and you are still processing that food, then your body is basically directing all your energy to the processing of that food, not to your muscles. So that's why I say leave 1 hour in between. I hope you understand, right? Because your body is basically busy with something else. Your body is still busy with breaking down the food you just ate. So my last meal of the day is basically my post-workout meal. I don't eat an intra-workout meal, so this is a meal during the workout. But if you want to eat something like during the workout, you should like drink. Basically, the best thing is to drink a carb source, liquid carb source. Just search it on Google. My 5th meal of the day, I've basically got 2 options. So one time I will eat this, the other time I will eat the other thing. So option 1 is basically like low fat soft cheese. So I don't know if this is the right English word, but in Holland it's called kwark. It's basically the same as yogurt, but a bit thicker and a bit more protein. So I will eat 400 grams of that, and then I will eat like 110 grams of granola, and on top of that I will eat 75 grams of fruit. Also I will eat 30 grams of peanuts, because proteins. And this whole meal is basically 850 calories, so a big meal. And the second option I have is basically some rice powder or rice itself. So rice powder is basically grinded down rice, but you can also just cook some rice and wait for it, throw some whey in there, some whey protein. This way, I really like this stuff, you know. It will give your rice a great taste. It might seem like really weird, but it's a good one. So rice with whey protein, some kind of fruit, so 75 grams of fruit. Then I will just do some peanuts in there, and I will eat 100 grams of soft cheese on the side. And why? I don't know, basically just to keep my whey protein a bit lower, because that stuff is expensive. It is getting expensive. I remember back in the day, you know, buying a 5 kilograms of whey protein for around 50 euros. Today I pay 110 basically. So yeah, let's go inflation. So yeah, this is basically everything I eat. And I have been using this template for the past year now, and because I'm using this template and this meal plan, my body has changed a lot. Like before this, I didn't took like nutrition that seriously, but because I took nutrition more serious, my body has changed so much. And I think this is so important for you to do. Like it might not be you need to take some steps, you know. If you don't take steps, you are not gonna grow. And this is a great way to actually like take some steps. It might be hard the first time you try, you know, because you have to buy all those foods, and that's kind of good, fucked up. But after a while, you get used to it. One thing I would like to say, I'm currently busy with setting up a private community. So I've been working on this for the past few months. So this is basically a private community with guys who work on their self-improvement and their fitness. So if you join our private community, you will basically get a free meal plan according to your macros and your body, and a solid workout plan. On top of that, you will get, of course, access to our community, where we like hold weekly community calls. So I will put a link down in the description so you can check it out. I don't have it online yet because I don't have the whole thing set up, but I have the website online. And just tell me what you think. Just tell me what you think of the website, and you can check if you like it yourself. If you like it, leave a comment, because I worked on it a lot, and I'm curious about what you think about this whole thing and community, this whole plan of mine, you know. So yeah, keep strong. Hopefully you learned something from this video, and hopefully you can implement this knowledge. And just check out the link in the description from my meal plan, and you can actually use it yourself if you want. You can actually alter your macros a bit and just leave certain foods out or add certain foods. Okay, keep strong. Spartans, prepare for glory.